Alright, welcome. I will be talking about the third wall of the bee cave on Fjordur today. I'm starting at the second wall, which is what I did last video. I made some changes to the second wall, and I want to talk about them real quick. So I was a little lazy when I built it, so I put a couple new things in there to kind of beef it up a little bit. So I threw foundations on the side of the walls, triangles with ladders. I put a cliff plat right there for foundation control. I put a cliff plat all the way at the top, as you can see. That one's also easy to place. And then I put a bloodstalker cage right there, which you can also put one on the other side. I stopped spawning in dinosaurs because every time you load back in on a single player, all of the dinos in this cave respawn. So there's kind of a mess at my first wall, because my first wall is full of dinos that are just constantly chasing shit and killing shit. That's all I changed with that, though. I just added more foundation control, and then I added the bloodstalker box. For our third wall, though, I'm going to talk a little bit about our third wall. So I made a couple changes to this last second, but then I couldn't fix the old things with them because of turret cap and all that, and I'll show you those. So this is the third wall. The third wall is split into two parts. This goes into the left side, and this goes into the right side. The right side is where your main base is going to be, your main loot, and then the left side is going to be your breeder area. First thing to note is that all of these turrets a lot of these ground turrets are meshed through foundations and shit. I put this railing thing that I'll talk about here in a second. I put that down after those turrets, but some of the turrets are 146 out of 100 and all of that, so I couldn't really replace them. Just pretend that if I built this on Cinza's, the turrets are going to be on the foundation. Another thing to note, this turret is very important because right here is you can tuck away right here, and I mean even sitting right here on top of the turret, I can block the entire left wall, and this goes down an entire foundation as well, so you can foundation and the little bit that's poking up from the turrets. You can imagine that little corner can block view from the entire both walls, and then it's not good for us. So that turret, that's kind of just a deterrent. Are they gonna blow it up and do it? They probably are, but I mean, that sitting there is just gonna, it delays that happening. I also don't really know what people would do with the corner. I mean, they can throw out stuff, but I mean, I don't see any like really blatant LOS there. They might be able to get a few of these turrets with the tech rifle. Let's talk about the railing mess. So the railings, this wall isn't really a choke point wall. This is kind of just a extra place to put turrets. It's not going to be your main, it's not going to be one of your main forms of defense because it's still pretty small. So that's why I railinged it off, because there's not going to be a lot of PvP going on. If you're getting online rated, you're going to want to bank on the second wall, because the second wall has a lot of space for you to move around and do stuff. This has a lot less space, so I didn't really think it was necessary to keep this, because this wall is another wall that's going to get dropped pretty easy. So I did railings with bear traps. I got kind of lazy here. I got lazy over here and just spammed shit everywhere, but if it was on Cinza's, it would all look like it would have one bear trap in between all of the railing squares. Talking about ground turrets, I have a couple ground turrets along this wall, and then the staple of Bee Cave is the hanging roots. So there's hanging root turrets. There's going to be hanging root turrets on all the walls where there's hanging roots. The wall itself, this row is actually different because right here, I'm sitting at like 75 turrets depending on where you look at it. 74 on this wall, 76 on that wall, 74, 75 in between. Since this is 150, so I mean there's 75 more turrets that can be here. So I have all of the walls set up right now to just look like one turret on each of the divisions. But on Cinza's, we would build it with stuff in the middle and on the divisions, and I just made a little example row of what that would look like. That'll make the wall a lot stronger. I mean, it's still not the best wall there is in Bee Cave. The best walls are actually what I'm doing next. I have 3 more walls to do, and those are the best walls in Bee Cave. These are not actually, these are the worst walls. They're just the front walls. But let's talk about a couple more things. Oh, I did a fence support thing right there. It's just to prevent C spinning. I mean, they'll do it if they want to. Anyways, turrets in the back. It's kind of hard to put turrets. There's a good spot right here. There's another set of roots, so I just put some ground turrets on that. I put some turrets behind. I put the fence support so they couldn't, if they do C-spin through the wall, they can't just go straight through it. I put the teleporter on this side because let's not destroy the deck teleporter. Anyways, I put the teleporter on this side because the left side leads directly into the breeding room, which the breeding room is going to have a teleporter. So it's easier to run from the breeding room up here. The right path leads into the beehives, it leads into the water part, and then it leads into the final chamber. So there's a lot more running here than there is over there. So I just thought the TP on this side would be a little smarter. That's pretty much all I have for this side. If you wanted to go through, I'm still kind of lazy. I'm exhausted from building this, but foundation control is super important. So I mean, you can bring all of these square foundations. You can bring these backwards. You can even put the TP on these foundations if you wanted to. It doesn't really matter. I just threw the TP there. I'm getting kind of lazy and sick of this, but the other side's a little harder to build. So I did another fence support. I did some of the triangles I was talking about. I just didn't do them on that side. Turrets are really bad on this side. You basically can't, I mean, if you wanted to, which I just thought of this, I mean, you can go and put some turrets on triangles. That's probably what I'll actually do on Cinza's, is just throw turrets on triangles. But right now I just have ground turrets placed, and then I have another fence support layer so that they can't just go straight back into the breeding room if they C-spin through this. And then the final thing I have to talk about is this entire wall. I built this entire wall out of only metal and then completely forgot about tech. This wall should be metal tech alternated. I just forgot to build it. Just pretend like half this wall is tech right now, and then you're doing me a favor. Anyways, that's all I have for you. I might have another wall done tonight. I might not. I don't know yet. We'll see. Have a good day.